Shalom, shalom. This is Ivan, the trinity of water, the giver, the receiver, and the holder. Not exactly in that order. And I will get to the name change. But first, let me say this. I just did an hour show. None of it recorded. I paid money to my cell phone provider for extra storage, so it's not the storage. Until I figure out what's going on, I'm not about to keep exerting all of my energy, effort, because I just learned not to fight it. Not to just, once I've tried everything I could try and it just doesn't seem to work out, then it's saying like, not by strength, not by might. I'm not gonna just take it like I would normally do and just pound it in. It's a reason for it. So, I don't even know what all this is going to take. I'm just going to get back to the message. I'm going to try to keep it within 10 minutes of the hour I just did. If it records, it records. If it doesn't, just know, you guys, I did try. This is Preparation for a Purpose TV. The reason for the name change, I will do a video on that when I return. But I'm going to set up some computers and some, other things of that sort. But anyway, the reason for the name change is because of the power words. It was just a friend I had encountered, actually one I had to cut off. And I felt kind of bad about that, which I shouldn't, but being real. But he had me listed under Ivan the Terrible. And he said it was this joke, a little meme. Man, I know exactly who Ivan the Terrible is. And I told him, I said, well, do you know who Ivan the Great is? And he was like, oh no, man, it was the Saturday Night Live thing. And, long story. But I just told him, I said, yeah, man, I kind of study, words, grammar, Grimoria, things of that sort. And I'm just like, man, kind of, if you even took the time, let's say 10 minutes just to look and say, okay, I kind of see what Ivan's saying. But like a lot of people, they had PhD in YouTubeology, baby. You can't tell nobody that. People ask me, man, how you, I was in much, much better shape. Man, how can I look like that? Person be 400 pounds. Before I can even tell them, they telling me. I'm like, oh, okay, 400-pound person will tell me how to get in shape. And everything can be 100% on key, don't get me wrong. A lot of times it is. But you can't tell somebody something unless you live it. That's the important, you can't skip steps. You can you can watch YouTube all day long on how to build an engine. But if you never worked on a car before, it's not going to pan out. It's just the way it works. This is like I said, hey, audio, visual, kinesthetic, baby. All the 3 learning styles, 7, however many you want to count. Hey, when I say something, you best believe now it's something I done did on a lot of levels. So I'm just saying, that PhD, I had to turn that PhD in YouTubeology in. But anyway, like I said, so I just had to cut it off. I can't tell that grown man what to do with his phone. And I was wondering when I known somebody 5 years, like for the past 2 years, exactly when he said he put it in, it just seemed strange. It just seemed weird. It was like, man, I don't know why he's irritating me all of a sudden. But anyway, you had a power to receive that or not. So just, throwing that in there with the name change, the power words. Next was, I got my little notes. So you gotta forget the energy. It's just once you do that for an hour and put so much into it. When we was talking about the homework, looking at a certain aspect of life, and no matter how big or small you might perceive it, and just studying to see how you relate to it. I did dirt last time. This time I did it on a rat. I was thinking like, what's the nastiest, most disgusting animal you could really think of, and I came up with a rat. And I might have to retract what I said. Everything has a purpose. Now, maybe you might know I don't. I was not able to come up with anything besides them just being very, very wise. Like in Ninja Turtles, the rat was the sensei. Just very wise creatures. They see it from the end. They say that's how they find stuff. So why they're so hard to get rid of, and then they work their way back. So they see it already done and work their way back. I watched a video on it, YouTubeology. So like I said, you gotta read some books or something, enlighten me about it. I really don't give a damn too much about rats. But I also did hear, if you show them a lot of love, like, mice, whatever, I know different types of rodents, but that you can actually change their chemical makeup. So, just there. The next was about, the most important was about drugs and spirituality. Something I wish I would have saw, and I know I discussed, my different battles a lot, but I was basically discussing oxytocin. You got dopamine, serotonin, all different hormones that needs to be balanced. But the main one I was discussing was oxytocin. So, when you feel you're in love, it's called the love hormone. It can be touch, it can be just so holding something warm, different things, different foods. If you're in love, that's why I say in. Anything you come in, you can come out of. That's the difference. It's not unconditional. So it's not real. Anything you go in, you can come out. So you might meet somebody and be like, man, I don't know what happened. We just couldn't get from up under each other. A month later, I can't stand this person. I don't care if I never see him again. Oxytocin, not unconditional. Which led me to, like I said, chemical hormone balances. When you're on drugs, I'm not saying I'm not a doctor. I'm not about to go through that whole spiel I just did in my other video. I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm just saying when you do like I did, and because spirituality can be so hard, especially if you don't take the proper time to go step by step by step, it's too overwhelming. So you want to tend to take things so you don't have to feel. That is not a good thing to do, I feel, because like I said, what I went through and other people may be going through, what it does is if you can't feel it as you're going through it, not only are you going to be dependent on something to be able to carry out your spiritual duties, you're not going to be able to balance your hormones. Not to mention a lot of different chakra things where you might encounter if you just go right up here and you didn't take the time to start. It's extremely important. Oxytocin is secreted by your posterior lobe of your pituitary gland. Posterior. Not frontal. Front door, back door. It's something to think about. Nobody ever told me this. So hopefully this record for whoever needs to hear it. Like I said, nobody told me that. And like I said, so that's definitely something to think about when you're talking about drugs and spirituality. Like I said, something I've never seen or never heard. Not saying it might be a whole lot of them. I'm just saying I never heard it. It would have helped me out a lot. Probably still would have. I don't know. Maybe I ended up cool. Okay, next. Okay, and really I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. Like I say, my apologies for the energy. It's just, getting this stuff together. But even if, they say the root chakra to the crown chakra, if you're just really getting into this and, excuse me, honestly, I recommend you don't even take it to that level. I recommend you just deal with your shit. Meaning just get your life in order. Just start with the physical. We're still here. A lot of people, and I hear this so many times. I know it was definitely true for me. I didn't want to have anything to do with the physical. I wanted just strictly spirituality. I was actually seeking death because I'm like, I know where I'm going. And I just didn't want to deal with this. It was just too much. But look, I had kids, responsibilities. I quit my job. It was just like, and it made things much, much tougher. And the importance of just having a good status, so important. Just build yourself up. Like I said, maybe start a little exercise if you don't. Start trying to eat a little better. I do videos on that later. On what you consider eating better, what you consider exercise. Just start off basically by owning your shit. Like, okay, you know what? I know I got some bills due. I'm not going to wait for it to hit me or whatever. I'm just going to take care of some things. There's so much power in that. And if you already kind of started with the chakras and everything and you need to cleanse or balance, by all means, but just saying the root. Work on it for a while. I heard someone say that, Amisha Blogger or something like that. I really appreciate that, by the way. What she said it took her like a year and a half, just working on one. But, everybody is different. So if that's something you feel you need to do, that's you. Like I said, do that. Get in a quiet space and to whatever you, pray to, however you choose to do it. I'm not here to tell you how to do that. Just sit back, just get you some meditate on it. And, just start and do it naturally. I definitely so much recommend it. I'm not saying everyone's knocking somebody for drinking and doing all that. You gotta live. Like that 5, every woman I ever dated was a 5. I didn't even know it. A 5, for people who don't know, they're the people you call, like, let's party, man. I got a lot of 5s in me. So I'm not saying that. And I'm also not saying you need drugs to party. I'm just saying for the big part of this journey, don't take things that's gonna numb you from this experience. It's just the way it works. You have to feel it in order to get that balance. It can be tough, it can be difficult. Trust me, I understand. But I like bringing good news and giving information to back it up. So I'm not even gonna give other things of fear and all that. I just don't like doing that. I just give facts. All truths are but half truths. Understand that as well and make the decision for yourself. Love.